Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode where we are going to be reviewing another Hot Toys figure. Today we have the Hot Toys Star-Lord from the movie Infinity War. Now I believe this is the third Star-Lord that we have gotten. Previously, Hot Toys has released the Star-Lord from the original Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now this figure has been out for a little bit, but I used some of my Christmas money and I picked them up, and I got a really good deal on them on eBay. So I figured I had to pull the trigger, as Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite Marvel movies. Also, I've gotten a lot of flack in the past with Iron Man being the only Hot Toys figure I've had in my display. I can now tell you that this Star-Lord figure is my third Marvel figure in my collection. Before we get going here, don't forget to smash that like button. It really helps us keep giving you the content that you like. It also tells YouTube that you like what we're doing. And if you would, subscribe to the channel, be a part of the community and the watch. We have a lot of fun here between Rob and myself. We review collectibles such as Hot Toys, Funko Pops, NECA figures, arcade one-up machines. And we talk about our favorite movies like Star Wars, Batman, upcoming films, reviewing TV shows like The Mandalorian. So be a part of the community and hang out with us. Alright, so looking at the box itself, has a really nice presentation. We have Star-Lord himself on the front. Looks like it's more of an art concept as opposed to a photograph. And then on the bottom right we have Marvel Avengers Infinity War. On the side of the box we can see the Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones, says Star-Lord 1/6 scale. And as we take the outer sleeve off, it does have a shoebox window display type where we can see inside to the figure. And let's take him out of the box, and before we get a good look at the figure, let's take a look at all the accessories that he comes with. Alright guys, let's start with the stand that Star-Lord comes with. It is a dynamic stand, which is great because you can do a whole lot more with dynamic stands. And here we have the base. It has Star-Lord printed right on the front, as you can see here. Now, this is not a metal nameplate or anything fancy like that, and to tell you the truth, I really have no problem with that. I could care less one way or another. I still think this looks good. I love the size, I love the shape. I like the Avengers A on it with the Infinity War logo on the front. I like the colors. We kind of have like blue, pink, turquoise, stuff like that going on, so it looks really good. And then you have the dynamic waist grabber that you can adjust and you can bend, and you can have him in jumping poses, flying poses, you know, whatever you want to do. So very cool that they added that. And then Hot Toys also gave us this kind of printed piece, try to make it a diorama maybe. The portal of Star-Lord kind of falling into. I gotta say, this looks like somebody just printed this on their home printer. The image is really blurry. It's really desaturated. I don't know if you can really even tell on camera here, but it's really faded and it doesn't look good at all. I think if I were to use this, it would honestly take away from the figure, but if you were to use it, it comes with this plastic piece and it just sits right in like so. And that fits right into the top of the dynamic stand, so you can have him falling into that portal, but I just think it looks pretty bad. But that's my opinion. You might think different, and that is perfectly fine. And here we have everything that Star-Lord comes with laid out, minus the head sculpt that's on the figure, the hands that are on the figure, and the base, which we just talked about. Let's just quickly go through what we have here. We have the Doctor Strange magic base effects. We have the bubbles for Star-Lord's blasters. We have his blasters right here. We have the helmet forming over the face. We have the helmeted head sculpt. We have a bomb. I cannot remember what this piece is called, but we have that. We have like a gravitational pull accessory, and then we have pistol hands, closed gripped hands, and then this single hand right here. Interesting that he comes with 5 hands and not not 3 sets of hands instead of 2.5. So that's interesting. Let's go through each one of these and get a closer look. And let's start with the Doctor Strange magic effects. These slip right onto Star-Lord's boot. But yeah, just pretty cool, and if you want to use that, that's a nice attachment that comes with. And here we have his blaster. Really cool carbon fiber on the handle or on the grip. We have heat treatment here where it kind of goes from that silver to purple. Looks really cool. And then we have just paint scratches all up and around. Really great detail. I mean, Hot Toys just never ceases to amaze me with this stuff. And here we have a bomb that he comes with. This kind of looks like a homemade bomb. Lots of cool detail here too. This piece right here, and it does fold up. And can attach to the blaster like so. The hands, I'm not going to go into too much detail because, you know, we've all seen Hot Toys hands. They're all the same for the most part. And we have these bubbles, which are new to the Infinity War figure. And they can just slip into the pistol like so. Maybe. Really cool transparent looking bubbles too, just they look really authentic. And then we have the gravitational pull here, which I probably won't be using, but cool that they put this in there. Then we have the helmet kind of in its mid-forming mode, and this just magnetizes and it just comes apart like so. And we'll put that on the figure in a few minutes. Now, just comparing the two here, the forming helmet on the right just looks a lot wider. It doesn't look like it's going to fit the head as well as I would like. It would have been nice if they just had a head sculpt with this already on it, but I get it, they're not going to give you 3 head sculpts, so they did their best. I appreciate the effort, but I think it could have been done a little bit better. And moving on to the head sculpt with the helmet. Really great detail. The paint applications are just amazing. You just got this really cool, like, brushed metal look to it. Great detail in the mask itself. And the eyes do light up. This back just pops off, and the battery compartment is right in the back there. Alright, so now that we've seen all the accessories that Star-Lord comes with, let's get the main event out here and take a look at the figure itself. Alright guys, here is your close-up look at the figure, primarily the head sculpt, and it looks really good. Looks like Chris Pratt. If we go to the profile, I think that is 100% Chris Pratt right there. 100% Star-Lord. The likeness is there. Really good detail in the hair. We have his helmet piece in his right ear. Really cool effect. You know, I wouldn't have even thought to add that in myself, but hey, that's why I don't work for Hot Toys. You got the sideburns, even the facial hair stubble looks great. You know, maybe at this with the shadows hitting here, I think this still really looks like Chris Pratt, but there's just certain angles where maybe it doesn't look quite right, but man, we can't complain about this. This is a great head sculpt, and it's the best one to date. I think it's the best head sculpt of the 3. But on the top of the head here, there is some chips in the head and the hair sculpt, and it's like lighter color there. You can see right at the top. And there's a few of those, and I think it really distracts from the figure. So either I'm gonna have to try and touch that up with some acrylic paint, or we're gonna have to just go with the helmeted head sculpt. So we'll see. Looking at the coat is going to be a little bit different from the previous version as well, from the Volume 2 version. It is mainly going to be pleather, and then this flap here is magnetic, so it'll stick back to itself, which is great. Looking at the shoulder, we have just cool belt buckles, and you have a couple studs here. We have the fake stitching, which looks really good. Just a really cool coat. And there we have the back. Now, because this is pleather, you're going to want to be careful with posing for long periods of time, as that could crack and make the pleather peel. And here we have the helmeted head sculpt next to the Chris Pratt likeness. You can just compare the two. Hair looks great on both, other than the defects on mine. And then you have like that brushed metal that we were talking about. Still undecided which one I want to pose him with to start. They both just look so dang good. And here we are down to the midsection of the figure. We're gonna see how restricted the articulation is with the coat. Hopefully here, because it's not that pleather, maybe it'll be a little bit easier to bend the elbows. And down to the midsection here, we have the blasters on the holsters, and they just kind of snap into place. We do have to be very careful though with these pieces, because they are very delicate. As you can see, these plastic pieces can bend really easily, so you just gotta pop it right in. And moving down to the lower portion of the figure, the pants have been reimagined, if you will. They're a little bit different than previous versions. Going to be a little bit baggier, and that might be to help with articulation. I don't think they look bad. I've seen videos where compared to the older figure, they look really baggy, but when you're just looking at this figure by itself, I think they look just fine. The boots are new, and they have like rocket launchers on the boots that were not there in previous versions as well. And the nice thing about these is they do have the split cut boot joint, so it just gives extra articulation. So most of us who have been with Hot Toys for a little bit know how figures articulate. So we're not going to go through everything, but we're just going to go through the basics so that you can see kind of how this figure articulates with the clothing that it's wearing. So it is a ball joint sculpt on the neck, so you do have pretty free range of motion there. And the coat, we have about a 90-degree. Going forward though, it'll be a little bit less than 90. And then it does have a double joint, but that coat really is going to restrict it. I would caution leaving them in a pose like this for long periods of time. Just don't want to damage that coat. And then we have the typical wrist joint here. We also have a swivel. We have a swivel in the thigh. Pretty good range in the legs there. Going forward, only to about there. Does have a double bend in the knee. He's going to have some movement here, but because of the coat, again, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot. And then we do have that split cut boot so that we have all types of rotation in the ankles. So as we whip out a few poses here with Star-Lord, I want to quickly talk about some of the things that we didn't really like about the figure and some things that we really liked. Starting with some things that we didn't really like, the forming helmet. It was a great idea, but I just don't think that it looks right. The helmet itself looks too wide. I also worry that putting this on and taking it off, you could possibly wreck the paint application on the head sculpt. So that worries me. It's not something that I'll be using. I think I'll just switch back and forth between the helmet head sculpt and the Chris Pratt likeness. Another thing that I don't like is that diorama portal looking piece. Looks like it was printed on a home computer. Doesn't look very professional at all. It's blurry. It's not very high quality. It's not something I'm going to use. I feel like it takes away from the figure. It almost cheapens it. And the final thing that I don't like about this figure are the holsters that hold Star-Lord's pistols. They're very flimsy. They're very fragile. Just putting one in, I already bent one of the little brackets, and it's probably going to break because the more it gets pushed in and out, the more fragile it becomes, and it'll just break off soon. Now, some things that I really like about this figure, the head sculpt. The more time I spend with this head sculpt, the more I really think it does look like Chris Pratt, especially in like natural light. I think it's just really great. The hair looks great. The facial hair, the paint application, the skin tones. It's awesome, especially in the profile view. Looks amazing, and the helmeted version looks awesome as well. I love all the accessories this guy comes with. You can do a lot of cool stuff with him. He comes with some of the Doctor Strange magic effects. He comes with his 2 pistols. Comes with the bubbles. The only thing I wish he came with was his Walkman, but hey, I get it. He came with the other figures, the previous figures, so they want to do something different here, so totally get it. And finally, I love his pistols. I just think the carbon fiber looks great. The heat treatment, the nicks and scratches, you can see the little vents in the pistol itself. They're just unique and they look really, really cool. I'm definitely going to be posing this guy holding his pistols. Alright guys, so in the comments below, let me know what you thought of this figure. Do you think this is the best Star-Lord figure we've got to date? Or do you think one of the previous versions knocks this one out? Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hey, if you're feeling interested, ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.